good? This is the Really Crazy One podcast. I'm your host, Taji. Got Ajah with me today. What you been up to?
Working.
That ain't it.
What?
You had some problems lately, didn't you?
Oh, I did. They can put my car problems out on that.
I got car problems too, so.
It must be that time. They said your income taxes is coming. Give it to me.
Yep. And I spent them on stuff. I mean, important things, but then a car situation happened, so.
I didn't even get a refund back. Actually owed.
For real?
$8. Yeah.
This is government, man. They cheap as all.
Like, I thought I was gonna get like $3,000 back.
So you ain't get no federal?
No,
what?
That was the federal. I owed federal $8, and I think I got $100 from Maryland.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't.
That's crazy. Yeah, I had to pay Pennsylvania $400.
The state, but you got your federal.
Mm-hmm. The federal was substantial.
Well, lucky you guys who.
So this week, last podcast, there was a little bit of a stir created with one of our co-hosts, Dre, with a clip I put up where he was talking about how women don't understand the simplicity of a man. So I posted it on social media. That wasn't what the podcast was about, but I just took that part from the end. Like we segued into that, just kind of got into that a little bit towards the end. So I posted that clip because I know that kind of stuff. People people debate about that kind of stuff, and it caused a little stir on TikTok mainly, and some of the other places I posted it. And I was kind of like in the middle on it. Like I understand what he's saying, but at the same time, like
wait, can you replay what he said?
He said women don't understand the simplicity of a man, and then he went into like how men are just simple and women they just don't. They overcomplicate things basically. That's
the stereotype, but yes.
It is kind of the stereotype, but I was kind of in the middle because it's like, well, yeah, but we don't understand. Like we don't understand either. Like it's not necessarily the woman's fault that they don't understand us because we kind of do give mixed signals. Like our actions,
communication breakdown.
Our actions can be different than what we say.
And most of the time it is.
Right. So so I was like, do you expect them to understand? They're not men, so you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I was looking up, going past I just came across this information to kind of make me think about that. Let me just read this, all right? Just some of the information I put together just on the internet or whatever. Mm-hmm. According to love biologist Dawn Maslar, oxytocin, and some of y'all may know about this, people listening to the podcast. Oxytocin, and it's nicknamed the love or cuddle hormone, is vital to women as far as falling in love. Okay? It's a vital hormone for falling in love. Okay. Now, that makes sense, right? It's nicknamed the love or cuddle hormone. So, like, love, cuddling might make you fall in love, right? So, when you do that, basically what they're saying is, like, when you do that, when a woman does that, it kind of pushes their emotions towards love.
By cuddling and releasing that hormone.
Right.
Okay.
Now, vasopressin is vital for men as far as falling in love. Vasopressin is also characterized, though, by separateness, aggression, and risk-taking. So, all right, when I tell you that a man's moves towards falling in love by releasing those types of emotions, by those types of emotions being released, aggressiveness, separateness, and risk-taking.
I mean, yeah, I think that's not surprising, especially kind of the way, I guess if you kind of compare it to like a jungle, and we're in the jungle, men are we are the prey, you guys are the predators. You guys like to hunt. So like...
All right, so, but look at it like this, right? So say two people in a relationship, or they build towards a relationship, and they start to be intimate. The woman, when the intimacy starts, like you would expect that, like the more physical you get, that energy between the two is going to rise, and the what is it called?
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
And that
gets released or whatever, right? But so what is it for to do? So like, would the woman got to be? She got to reject him. She got to play the game.
I do think it's a cat and mouse game a little bit. I think they like the hunt. They don't want it too easy. Just like somebody giving it up on the first night, as they say you're not supposed to do or whatever.
Right. So let me read some more. All right. Some more information I came across. So a common misconception is that men fall in love in the bedroom, but Maslow, who I referred to earlier, believes that some men may lose interest if sex happens too quickly, which is kind of what you was just talking about. Mm-hmm. A woman may bond more closely to a man after sex in the early stages, which makes sense based on the oxytocin, rather. But the man won't necessarily reciprocate those feelings right away, right? Makes sense so far?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Does that seem like it's true?
I think so.
All right. Here's why.
But I do think that that's true, but I also think that men can, I don't know, say fall in love quicker.
They can.
Yeah.
It's possible, right? All right, so here's why, according to this information I came across. A man's dopamine and vasopressin increase when they're dating a woman, enjoying it and sexually interested in them. But their vasopressin drops when they have sex with a woman. Now,
so they lose interest.
Yes, so speaking from a man's standpoint, I can say there's been a few situations in my life where if I wasn't really interested in a girl and I had sex with her, afterwards I kind of be like, I ain't need to do that. Now I'm a little bit different because I'm not really a dude who's like pressed for sex like that. Yeah. And I'm also kind of like a person who needs to be stimulated in some other way besides just what you look like.
Right. And especially I think the older you get, the more you start to appreciate those things.
Yeah. I mean, I've always kind of been like that. I'm weird like that. But you could call it, maybe I'm normal. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Or I have to know the girl. Like if I'm real cool with her, then, you know. Yeah. Otherwise, I may have problems even getting aroused by the girl, no matter what she look like. If she don't appeal to me mentally in some way, or if I don't know her well enough. Right?
So if Rihanna came to you right now,
it would be hard. It would be hard. Yeah. But she's physically like look good, I guess, but it would be hard. Like I don't care how much the thrill might be of that's Rihanna. I probably would have it. Yeah. I told you I'm weird like that.
Okay.
So anyway, where was I at? According to, all right. So his vasopressin goes down. All right. A woman's dopamine and oxytocin will also gradually increase if they're enjoying dating a man and are sexually interested in them. However, the difference is a woman's oxytocin rises considerably when they orgasm. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense to me too, based on women's reaction after sex, right? They tend to get closer. They want to lay on you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah.
It is believed that the Coolidge effect can sometimes come into play when sex happens quickly. The Coolidge effect is a biological phenomenon observed in animals whereby males progressively lose interest in mating with the same female, yet have heightened sexual interest in new females.
I've heard that. I've heard there's no, can I say P-U-S-S-O?
Yeah, if that's the saying you heard.
Yeah, I heard there's like no pussy's like new pussy.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's the thrill for you guys, but for women, it's not like, oh yeah, we just want new penis all the time. Like, no.
Well, some probably do these days, but Maslow explains that when a man first starts dating, they're very excited and their dopamine and vasopressin go up. But if they I can't see what this says. My screen is correct. Something sexually too quickly, basically gets sex too fast, I guess. They drop back down. Therefore, a man may lose interest, pursue other women, and not be around long enough to fall in love.
Okay, I think this article is basically saying that sex will keep a woman, but it won't keep a man. That's basically what this is saying.
But it can, right? You know, it does say at some point in this article, I know it because I read it, that it can happen, but this is something that you have to be aware of that exists in men and be careful of navigating around when you're a woman.
Yeah, I mean,
so if we go back to how we started off here with what vasopressin, what that releases in a man, what releases that in a man, which is like stressful things, right? Like,
But did they say that? Is vasopressin stressful?
It doesn't use the word stress. I didn't see, well, I did see like some people talk a podcast clip where we were talking about, and they use the word stress. I did my own research.
And it's not.
I didn't see the word stress being used, but these things equate to stress, like
what?
Separateness, aggression, and risk taking. So essentially, that kind of goes under the stress umbrella.
Well, risk taking could be thrill, like they like the thrill of it, the thrill of possibility. So I feel like even when you date someone new, you like that thrill of like what this can be, the newness, the thrill.
So are we? If you say that though, does that mean that when it gets old for a man, he don't? I mean, ain't that problematic?
Yeah. So I mean, I think it is, but I don't think, and that's why you don't have sex with a man that quickly, typically, so you can kind of build with them on a different level than just sexual. Because as women, I do agree that having sex with someone you can become attached to them. And I don't know, maybe it is the oxytocin.
I remember our co-host one time, we did a live podcast one time, rooftop podcast. And I remember she got on the mic. She wasn't a co-hosting at the time. She was like in the audience. Mm-hmm. She got on the mic and I forget what the topic was, but I remember her saying that sex, every time you have sex, is going to cause you to be more connected to that person in some way. And it's like inevitable that connection exists. But when we're talking about this topic right now, it seems like that's way more true for the woman than the man.
Yeah, I even without the oxytocin, I feel like just the physical aspect, like you guys are inside of us.
Right.
We're not inside of you.
The biology.
So I feel like just that is kind of like there is
even if you set the oxytocin part aside.
Yeah, it's just like there is some type of, I can see why women could be more connected to someone just strictly from that perspective.
But now it's like there's like biological and scientific apparent evidence that there's a hormone now. I mean, that literally gets released that also on top of that physical, the physical part that we're talking about, like with the man entering a woman, now there's the hormonal part on top of it that influences the woman being more connected.
So do men not get oxytocin? Do you know?
I didn't see that. I think the vasopressin. It's not like they don't have oxytocin. I think it's just oxytocin and dopamine.
Yeah. Oh.
Does that make sense? Is that what it was?
I mean, it makes sense if.
Yeah, both have dopamine.
Yeah.
But I think like, so if you go back to what I mentioned about Dre when he said women don't understand the simplicity of a man, ain't that the opposite? Because I feel like the women's situation is simple in that sense. Because you would think that physical intimacy would lead to love, right? But with a man, it's like not.
But does it lead to love or does it lead to?
It influences like feelings of love,
attachment issues. I feel like kinda.
Either way.
Because that might be
Because if you're built like that, which you would think the normal way to be built for human beings at least is that like the physical intimacy will lead to the next step, which is maybe like.
But this, to me, article honestly just confirms, like you said, to me, it seems like it confirms, I don't know, that what we've always been saying, like women get dickmatized and all this other stuff, like they stay because of the dick and all these other things. And I've seen a lot of women, I don't know if it's that or not, but women do get attached to bad people. I mean, people get attached to bad people. And bad men, but it seems like it's harder for women to leave, and I think, like you said, because of the article with the oxytocin and all these other things, it makes us more attached. And yeah, I agree. And you guys don't get attached that way.
Yeah. So if a woman is operating on that type of frequency, why would she ever understand a man? You know what I'm saying?
We're not,
because I kind of feel like, I mean, I'm trying to be like. I'm a man and I kind of operate on that type of frequency, right? But I feel like the way the woman operates makes more sense. It makes more logical sense.
I think it makes sense. And like you said,
if you talk about like the oxytocin and what's the other one?
I don't even know.
The other one.
Yeah. I think that, it makes sense. I want women to put the onus on ourselves, though, because you can't go by what men.
I sense that's what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, you can't go by what men say and all of these things and the sex and stuff, because that's old. We've been there, we've done that, we know. Like, sex is not going to keep anybody, and you can't go based off of what people tell you. So if a woman is saying like, "Oh, women are delusional," sometimes it's true. I just think I just want women to kind of put the onus on ourselves and a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree that women should.
I think
if you don't put the onus on yourself, then you put in your
like, men ain't shit. Men are doing this, and it's like, men are simple. Granted, they do lie, and they do, their intentions might not be clear, but you always know deep down inside. It's like, if that person is really with you,
right? And they dilute themselves.
Yeah, and or it's not. And so you gotta clear the fog of the oxytocin and really see things for what it is. Because having sex with someone and laying up with them doesn't mean anything, especially to men.
How do you propose a woman as a woman? How do you propose a woman clears the fog of the oxytocin? Because that's a chemical thing.
Stop having sex with them.
Simple as that.
Yeah, if you feel
you gotta resist the urge.
Yeah, if you feel like there's any confusion of how that person feels about me, communicate that, and if he doesn't step up, keep it moving. And then that's when it's like, we women do overcomplicate things, because I kind of agree with Dre, because it's kind of like, but then again, I see both sides of the coin. Like, men do.
I see both sides too.
Yeah, it's like men do things and like, oh, I want this and I want you to be this and whatever, and then you might not hear from them for 2 days. I'm like, I thought you just said, like,
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Women have to, and I say this to men, right? Because men and women from the beginning of time have never really understood each other, right? It's not anything new. But men will talk about women not being real or playing games or whatever the case may be. Now, I get frustrated with that because I'm never playing games in the beginning. So, and I come as a real person. So whoever I am.
Playing games how?
I just don't play any. Like, I cannot do that. I can't be anything but who I am. But because women are used to men sending their representatives, they don't react to me normally. They're reacting in the game playing mode. So when it comes to 3 months, 4 months down the line, they start being somebody. I find out they lie about stuff, whatever the case may be. That causes problems for me because I'm like, well, I'm like, you knew who I was coming in, so why are you doing this? But they're probably in the mode of playing games because the dude is playing games typically when they get in these relationships. But here's the thing, right? And dudes will complain about women.
And they do, like,
playing hard to get, and all that kind of stuff, right?
But you see why we play hard to get?
Right, let me get to that.
You see why?
So the thing is, and I tell dudes they have to do that because that's the only way they can protect themselves. Right?
And I feel like that's the only way that you showing me that you really want me.
Right.
Because men, you'll be walking down the street and they'll holler at anybody. You, your friend, whoever, us, whatever. So it's like, okay, keep it moving. But if you're really trying to pursue me, I mean, don't follow this all the way because there's people who will pursue.
Right.
And then it's still like, whatever. But at least that kind of gives me like, dang, he really must want me. Let me give this guy a chance. Or maybe he's see what he's about off the first thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
it don't always work because you might just not like the dude. Now it's stalking.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I like the chase though. I like the cat and mouse game.
Yeah, not if you don't like the dude.
No. Yeah,
you know I gotta like it. It depends. Like it depends. Like if you lucky enough to be a good looking dude with charisma, you like it.
Yeah. I think the chase is fine.
Like there's an unfairness that exists out here. Like, some dudes don't have that extra stuff, so they don't get to do the chase all. They just get this. You know what I mean? So,
you're a creep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like the women have to play the game. They have to play games.
There's actually a meme, and it's like one is sexual harassment, one is like flirting, one is sexual harassment.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I really that article though, it really does explain a lot, which I do agree.
Yeah, like it breaks it down to like an understandable, like scientific level where now you can put, our just like whims and like our
Stereotypes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like
you can
maybe
put that
there's some.
aside. It's literal like science behind it.
So do you think that as a man, cuddling and being with someone that doesn't,
Stimulate anything?
yeah.
See, you asking me. Like, I already told you I was a little different. I kind of have to have that before I'm even like,
Oh, even you get to that level.
yeah. But for most dudes, I think dudes I think they talk it down. Like I think dudes like that more than they say they do. Because men like to be nurtured.
Yes, I think it depends on who it comes from.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
they could do the same thing.
Yep.
And be like, I don't feel nothing. But if it's someone they want, then they want to do all of that with.
It's kind of the opposite of what you just said. The reverse of what you just said with men. Like you like to chase, but it has to be a certain dude to chase you. Where men is like you like to cuddle, but not all. Yeah. To jump off, we don't want to cuddle.
Right, exactly. But it's like, why have sex with somebody if you don't want to cuddle with them? That doesn't make sense. Like, if you don't even want to cuddle, why even have sex?
This is where Dre would say women don't understand men. He would say that at that point. If you don't want to cuddle, why have the sex? I agree.
Yeah,
do I? Wait a minute.
Like, if you don't even want to cuddle with me, but you want to be inside me, that makes no sense. If I don't want to cuddle with someone, I'm not having sex with you.
So you're saying that from a woman's standpoint. Now, that is how men and women are different. Like, but I'm sure you can put two and two together. You kind of pointed out earlier how men are like the wild animal in the predator in the forest.
Yeah.
Right? So we operate based on our physicality more than the other part. The other part then comes attached to it sometimes, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? But a man often just wants to get in.
And see, that's exactly how women differ. Because it's like, I'm not just having sex with you because you look good. I'm having sex with you because I like you. And you look good. Right. I'm not going to just...
Again, I mean, I guess we have to say these days women kind of operating differently, though.
I disagree. I don't think so.
I know some.
Yeah, but...
Like I think a woman will...
some hoes, but even still...
No, they don't even have to be hoes. They just, like, don't get attached through the sex.
And I'm telling you, I don't know. I think it's all a lie. I think it's covering up something. It's some type of getting through it. I mean, sometimes you do got to go through your whole phase, I guess.
Dre said, no. I guess he's saying to you, no, men can compartmentalize cuddling sex. Come on, Ajah, don't act like 10 toes tight. Wait, did he say cuddling sex? Cuddling versus sex.
But my thing is, I just personally, if I don't want to cuddle with you, I'm not going to have sex with you. Because why would I could have sex with somebody that I actually want to cuddle with.
I think most women have that instinct. But these days, what I'm talking about is like women are starting to have sex like men, right? Especially like, and I hate to say this, but like good-looking women, they got so much flying at them all the time. They falling into just...
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Not all of them, but it's way too easy for them.
It's always been easy for women. Not even these days, whenever. As a woman that
Any dudes in here on Instagram Live?
Any pretty woman knows it's not hard to have sex. If any woman is telling you it's hard to have sex, so it's like... It's never been hard to have sex. Whether it was Instagram, whether it was 1928, well, maybe, I don't know, people was shaming then. It was never hard for a woman.
So what's your point?
To have sex. So my point is, it's not like these days, now women are moving differently. I think maybe now these days women have more autonomy and it's like, okay, maybe they're kind of putting it out there, but if you a hoe, you was going to be a hoe in 1938. You was going to be a hoe in 2023. I think. If you was going to do that, you were always going to do that. Your
point is that it's not different now than it
is. It's no difference. It's no difference. I know a lot of pretty women who don't do that. Like, it's not.
So my nephew Ikla says there's no hoe phase.
Yes, it can be a hoe phase. I believe in hoe phases.
Maybe he's just trying to say
You're a hoe.
Oh, no, not sure. I'm not sure. His sentence cut off. So Authentic Dre, who y'all has been on the one who made the statement. Podcast listeners, just like women can compartmentalize flirting from attractive men versus calling harassment from the ugly dude. Well, we covered that.
Well, harassment becomes if you keep on.
So Iglas agrees with me. He said they definitely are moving differently. They are.
How?
They are. And he's younger. He's, in that 18.
But what's moving differently? Because women are out here doing.
It's hard to find one that's like chaste anymore.
Wait, find one what?
It's probably hard to find one that's like not, ain't been around the block at a young age. I'm gonna tell you how I know.
First of all, how do you want to know somebody?
Tell you how I know it's different. I remember my boxing class, right? I mean, my boxing training thing I was doing. We just be busted up, me and it's all ages in there, right? Young boys, whatever. The younger dudes was in there talking about the girls in their classes in high school. They like 20 now, but they just out of high school. And the numbers of dudes they was with, the numbers are astronomical in high school for like a lot of these girls. It wasn't a lot of it has to do with the reputation would be different back then for you. So they would avoid it. Now I agree that they might have wanted to, but they would stop because they wouldn't do it because the reputation. Now the reputation don't get tarnished like it used to. You know what I'm saying? Like
it still get tarnished for me. I mean,
to be considered a hoe now, your numbers have to be higher than they need to be back in the day to be considered a hoe.
Yeah, and I also think being a hoe also is kind of like depending on how many people know about what you're doing.
I mean, no, like if you did it, you did it.
Yeah, but
you're talking about being known as one.
Known as a hoe, yeah. Like you always knew, like, oh, she a roller or whatever. But I don't know what people say now. But
so Dre says some women suffer from pretty girl syndrome, where they haven't had a lot of dudes because of dudes scared to talk to them or assume they already have a man. These days, the hoe phase is called women empowerment. Yep.
I get what you're saying about women empowerment and how it has rebranded as being hoe and having hoe walks and being able to show your body and all that, and that has been rebranded as women empowerment. And I do think from a certain standpoint, as women, we were never able to be sexual beings, and men have, and we kind of like are shamed for being sexual.
Make sure you don't hit the mic.
We've been shamed for being sexual beings, and men have not. And now it's kind of like, no, we like to do it too and all this other stuff.
Right.
However, and I do think that black women and women have always been sexualized from the beginning of times, and that there's nothing empowering about kind of like being super overly sexualized and sexual. I get both things about it. It's like we've always been sexualized. Sex sells. Sex has always been a thing, especially for black women. And like their bodies are the number one, like butts and ass and titties. And it's like, it's more than that. And we are more than that. And I think that's more empowering. That we need to
You just use it as a platform to empower black women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I agree. But
I'm just saying I disagree with that being sexual empowerment, but I also agree with that they want that body autonomy and be able to, like, we can do what you guys do too. I also believe I don't want a man.
How do you feel about that?
I don't want a man that's a hoe either. And I also don't.
No, how you feel about like the women
turning
the sexual empowerment? Yeah.
I think that's wrong. I think we're going down the wrong path. Okay. I think that sometimes social media can be so surface level, and people run with certain things. And it's like, okay, let's run with. Granted, like I said, I do agree with women are sexual beings, and we should be able to have sex, just like men should be able to have sex without being judged for that. However, we can judge men for being hoes too. Like, it's not okay to just be having sex with everybody. That's how you get STDs and all these other types of things. And I think personally, as a woman, I think people who are going through them ho-ho phases, there's something there's something deeper inside that you're probably going through. That's why you feel like you need to outlet that way, whether it was sexual abuse in your past, where you're trying to do certain things. I think that
I think that's the case most of the time.
I think there's a lot of deeper issues. So that's why I say, like, we're sexual beings. We like to do it too. But once you cross a certain line, just letting anybody do anything, I think it's deeper than that, personally. Because like you said, as not. There's a scientific biological thing that makes you attached to people that are inside of you.
Yeah, most of the time when it's women, I agree with that. Like, when I said there's women who operate differently now, I do think that there is something underneath that's allowing them to be cold and when they have sex with them, some type of
something. Whether I don't know, and the people that I know who have gone through that. I mean, like you said, we all going through stuff. So you can't say people but people express things differently. So you can't say like, oh, well, she was going through it and that's probably why she did that, because we all going through it. Right. And so people express their outlets differently.
All right. I saw my nephew also say you could tell it's different because it's different in Senegal with the women in Senegal, and like they starting to be hoey. So, and he 20 or 18. So
he's probably saying that because
it's true. He's saying it because it's true.
Right? What's being hoey though? Well, like, define that.
Well, we ain't gonna get into that. But I wanted to say something about what you just said. What was your last point that you made?
That we're sexual beings. We could do certain things. Women, they're having sex because of a deeper issue.
Damn, that was a good point. That was a counter to what you were saying.
I said that women. There's a deeper reason why they're actually doing those type of things.
The deeper reason why they were doing those things. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. So I also do, though. I agree with that, but I also think that the culture has changed. Like, it's, the music, like all that kind of stuff. Sex has been made to be acceptable. So women are now being groomed when they listen to the music. Like you told them, like they're sexualized now. So they're being groomed to believe like having sex with this many dudes
doesn't matter. Early, I agree with
so if they already feel like women want to have sex, you know what I'm saying? They don't know what dangers they get into when they do it when they're young. You know what I'm saying? So they doing it at an early age and they do it again. Now that may start to cause psychological problems. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think so. I do think that, like I said, with this TikTok and social media and things like that, we are in a new whole empowerment phase, and a lot of women don't, especially young people, don't understand, I guess, the ramifications of that.
Right.
But there's some women who say there is no ramifications.
There are some that do that.
Of having sex with a lot of people.
Yeah, dudes accept it. A lot of dudes these days don't care that much.
So do you think that, because it's always been acceptable for men to have a lot of sexual partners, do you think that there's ramifications with you guys doing that?
I think that if you're real extreme with it, I do think it. But I think the numbers got to be real high, a lot higher for men.
It's different for men.
Yeah. I think the numbers have to be real high for men, because I think what starts to happen with men is the same thing that happens when you look at a lot of porn. Like, you start to get immune to it. and desensitized.
But that's not... See, and when I think
you're talking about societal ramifications?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, just ramifications of, if you have a daughter or a son, and your son is having sex with 20, 40, 50 partners or whatever, and your daughter's doing the same thing, do you think that it's affecting them both equally, or it affects them differently as a woman versus a man?
No, I think it affects the woman worse.
And why would you say that?
Because the physical makeup of a woman. Like, you can't have that much going in and out of you and not... Like, they're literally leaving themselves inside of you every time they're in you.
Yeah, that's what I think. I personally... But I might be... I don't know, not of this time. And I also... I didn't have any sex in high school, so I'm not even a good person to say, because I was a virgin until college. And then, after that. But not to say that I haven't done it. And my mom is on here.
Yeah, hey, mom, let me be careful what I say. Hey, mom.
But I lost my virginity to my boyfriend, but I also had friends in high school who definitely did it or whatever.
Let me see some of the, if I can get, my phone shut down for a minute, so I missed a lot of comments. I ain't really get to them. I've seen girls talking about hot girl summer. That's my nephew.
But hot girl summer doesn't have to mean, we about to go do it. First of
And
all,
then he laughing.
and this is
Then
what
he
I'm
laughing at you. Said, "You really think they've been doing that for years?"
Yes, people been hoes from the beginning of times. Like I do think that. I mean, maybe people. It's just becoming more normalized, I guess, and more people are doing it. But
yeah. And then Dre said, "True. I guess to what I was saying, music is negatively influential for young girls, with many of the female rappers promoting freaky sexual liberation. Thong going ass out. This is girl. He said thong ass out because y'all know I do music, and back in the day, this girl who didn't seem like she was that type of girl, she came to record a song. He's talking about some thong going ass out. Me and Dre was like, what? This is years ago. So this is probably around the time when this music started
to become a thing.
Yep.
I mean, you probably have a point, and maybe I also.
And so he said he's talking about hot girl summers in Senegal specifically. That's crazy, man. That's a shame. It's a shame.
Is it a shame?
Yes, it's a shame. Because it's spreading everywhere, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's a global village now. So the music, the entertainment reaches everybody. So it's going to influence everybody.
Yeah, it's going to influence everybody.
I remember years ago when I first went to Africa, 20 years ago.
But the men in Africa been doing it.
But so when I went there like 20 years ago, I was a little surprised because I think I remember in the club or something playing back then, right? I don't know. Was that long ago? Anyway, so
I mean,
it was like 50 Cent stuff. But I was surprised just from that because I was like, wait, this kind of music is over here now, and that was like, it wasn't like it is now. Like now it's just the worst everything because everybody gets everything now. So, but I was like around the stages when it first started to come over there. You know what I mean?
I will say this. You saying it's bad, it's horrible, but honestly, I don't think anybody should be just doing it. I don't know. It's your prerogative and what people do. People can do what they want with their body. Whatever makes them feel comfortable with them. But
you're not trying to shame nobody.
Yeah, I'm not trying to shame anybody. Like, if you want to go out and have sex and do that, that's your prerogative.
But you don't think they should be doing it.
I personally...
I don't. I'm going to say it. You shouldn't be doing it.
I personally...
I'm not trying to shame you, but you can do better.
Yeah,
as women, like, you can do better.
One, I think, is couple reasons. That's why men are out here running around doing what they want to do, because women are out here giving their bodies up for free. Without no type of commitment.
That's why my dating pool is messed up.
Yeah, barely. People not even getting dates. Oh, come smoke and we going to go do this, or it's not even like we're fucking the game up. To be honest, by just giving pussy out for free.
Yep.
And it's like now it's like this is why niggas. Sorry, men are not.
This is
why men are literally getting worse. I'm sorry, but because we are fucking the game up by just giving out pussy with no type of nothing. And like women empowerment. Yeah, women empowerment. And that's why people are not getting married. That's why you were talking about situationships.
Dre said Ajah hype.
That's why no, because it hits a nerve. Like this whole situationship culture, people are not even real relationships anymore.
So Ikhlas said, nah, even the men have changed. Explain that, Ikhlas. I want to hear that one. But so I say this all the time. Like when I put out like messages on social media and everything, that I target men because I say y'all messing up my dating pool by running through women like y'all doing or whatever.
Women are messing up.
That's true too, but I'm targeting men because I'm speaking to men.
It starts with us.
No, well.
We are allowing y'all to do what you guys want to do.
You're right. Women can stop it.
Women can stop it.
And that's you're right. I do put out messages to the women too. But the dating pool in general, just based on everything you're saying, is being messed up for me because now like all the women are destroyed because
not destroyed.
Destroyed.
So are you destroyed because you had a lot of sexual partners?
No,
though?
the mentality I talked about it earlier. Like if you're doing that much, now your mental start being messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Disconnected.
Yeah.
So now you just ain't right. You've been around
not been around the block.
I'm trying to keep it kosher, but you fucked everybody, and you mentally ain't right because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't feel the way you're supposed to feel. And then the other thing too is, this is going off topic a little bit, but everybody is in a rush to be in a relationship. So they rush to sex, they rush everything, they rush love, sharing the word love. Mm-hmm. So like. Most people out here, I really believe, don't know what love is. They think they love somebody and they get married because that's the peak of what they felt.
Oh, get married.
Yeah, they'll get married.
And not even be in love.
That's the peak of what they felt emotionally. They never felt what real love is. They just took this thing. I feel strongly about this guy. I think we should get married. I feel strong about this girl. I think we should get married.
So I've been into the marriage is a business aspect, and not a lot of times you don't always have to be like
No,
really,
you
really
don't.
in
It's
love.
your prerogative. Like you don't have to.
Yeah, y'all could be really good friends,
but
and share love. And
I mean, there's cultures where you do arranged marriage and all that kind of stuff.
and they said those marriages last longer than people who are married for love.
I mean,
because to be honest,
they say.
I don't know.
What are you really getting though? I mean, I'm pro love, so
I'm pro love too. I mean, I don't want to be with. I don't even want to see. The thing is with me, I don't even want to do anything with somebody if I'm not.
If you don't love them.
Not to say I don't.
You feel real strong.
Yeah, if I don't feel strongly about you.
So, let's see. So I'm trying to get to his explanation. I'm talking about how. Oh no, that's earlier. So he said, if men didn't buy OnlyFans, there wouldn't be girls doing OnlyFans. Men have to stop being so horny and work at actually being.
What?
NG men? What does that mean? Being men with self-control and everything else a real man should be. Yes, that's my nephew. You know what you're talking about. I co-sign 100%.
I co-sign, but I do think, yeah. But even
Ajah, your thing has been to hold women accountable, so I get why you coming, and I ain't mad at it. Like,
yes, because I feel like it's just too many women that I see, in myself too. It's like at the end of the day, they're only doing what you allow them to do.
Yes, if women
and we hold the cards.
I support that. I support that stance because there are women who need to speak to women that way. If you can stop everything, you can. Like women can stop everything, but women as a group, as a unified group, are not going to do that
until you got more people speaking up and like, listen, girl.
It's too
messing the game up.
There's always, women say it themselves, there's always going to be the girl that's going to open her legs for the dude on the side. It's always going to be that girl.
Well, they messing the game up. But it's too many people open their legs, obviously, at this point, for nothing.
Dre said, Taj, what planet your nephew come from? That young boy good. All right, yeah, so oxytocin, what's the other one? Oxytocin and vasopressin, all right?
Vasopressin.
Are responsible for women's love and men falling in love. So just remember, it's a science behind it too. So women, when y'all out there messing with dudes, remember they don't have the oxytocin, they have the vasopressin.
And what I think too,
and vasopressin is influenced by strife and stuff. So make them work. Make them work for it.
Make them work for it. And it's like, you control everything. There is power in the divinity of us. Like, you don't have to go for any of this. And the oxytocin, like you said, it could be like a drug. Don't keep doing it. Because when you keep having sex with somebody constantly, consistently, you're going to fall for them as a woman. You're going to get attached to them.
It's a very good point. Because you're talking about it from... It's interesting you brought that perspective, because I was talking about it from the standpoint of thinking about what vasopressin is for men and try to manipulate that. But you're talking about from the perspective of protecting yourself because you have the oxytocin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So both sides. Like, make sure you hold off, because if you hold off, that's going to make the man want you more. But also, if you hold off, you're protecting yourself and you're not going to want him as much.
And then until he shows you like, okay, maybe this is somebody
it'll help your self-restraint. Once you start sleeping with him early, you start to be at his
your mind is not clear. You start looking at red flags and they start to become green. You're like, wait a minute.
And as you know, love is a form of insanity. So once you start nearing closer to that, your mind ain't working right. So.
And that's why, as women, I'm telling us, just stop.
Just stop. All right, that's gonna be our podcast for the day. For Taji, Akib, Ajah. If you want to contribute to our podcast, you can do so at patreon.com/Taji Akib. That's patreon.com/TAJIAQIB. Yeah. So hope y'all learned something from this. I think there's a lot to learn in this one. I actually ain't started off thinking it was gonna be that much to learn from it, but I hope y'all did. You know, especially women.
What did the men learn from this one?
Well, they learned what my nephew was talking about. Like, y'all gotta be men.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta be men out here. I mean, most of my messages out here when I'm putting stuff on social media is towards men. Even if it's to the women, it's about the men. Like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to educate people about, you know, how men operate and how you gotta be careful with us. I don't support us, man. I don't support us because they messing up my dating pool. And they are my sisters and my daughters and my mom and moms and stuff. Yeah. It just don't make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
And the other thing, let me just say this real quick. A lot of people get tired of relationship topics, right? But a lot of these relationship topics out here are podcasts and stuff like that are talking about them from like just a goofy ass, not silly, superficial, just trying to get hits and stuff perspective, right? Hot takes. But relationship topics are actually very important. I mean, the people out here talking about it stupidly got people like, I'm tired of this, whatever. But they actually, if you talk about it in the right way, are very important because they hold together society.
Yeah, right? It's the foundation of
families.
Like
one of the main targets of like the oppressor is the black man because they want to tear apart the family, the black family. So this is why these kind of topics, the way we're talking about them, are important because if you out here just going from person to person, then you got these sex wars, men hating women, women hating men.
Such divisive topics. I was like, oh, men are this, women are this. It's
if you're doing that, how do you get to step B where you're trying to build up our community? You can't because our families ain't even together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And our kids ain't being raised right and all that kind of stuff. So like
they only listening to Cardi B
right.
for sexual
So relationship topics actually are very integral to the growth of our world. You know what I'm saying? In the right way. So I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, we out. If you ain't the crazy one, you're probably the crazy one.
Hey, Taji, I just want to know one thing, yo. Why all these questions?
Yo, some say I'm too outspoken, Taji be on some other bitch. Cancer shook, scared to quote it, bloggers don't want to publish it. Rather be that than the token, y'all dudes be on some rubbish shit. I'm trying to get that all in the open, on the table before expunging it. MC shunning it, fuck it, either way they ain't touching it. Either way, all I want is scholarly pundits discussing it. I'm the hub of the mothership, but don't budge unless I budget it. Take orders from no